Hi, I'm Peter J. Ray. Welcome to Adventures in History. Today's topic is Zuck Family Letters, 1959 to 1963. This was originally published as Zuck Family Memories Collection, or ZFMC number 62, on June 19th, 2003. And these are letters from Gertrude Zuck Ray and Doran Eugene Ray in Sandusky, Ohio, to my parents, John and Ruth Ray in Rocky River, Ohio. Now here's a introduction. Hi everybody, and welcome to another fascinating presentation. This involves letters from Gertrude Zuck Ray to her son, John Ray, and daughter-in-law, Ruth S. Ray. Gertrude's husband, Doran Ray, wrote one letter in addition. Gertrude's letters include Sandusky doings such as barbershop quartets, little girls airing their dollies in doll buggies, the triumphant return of Sandusky's own Jackie Mayer, who became Miss America in 1962. It doesn't get much more exciting than that. Gertrude and Doran enjoyed the Leningrad Philharmonic Orchestra in Oberlin, Ohio. Classical music was one of Gertrude's greatest interests. They also enjoyed more down-to-earth pleasures as the Huron County Fair, and viewing the prize horses, cows, pigs, sheep, rabbits, guinea pigs, and chickens. Staying in touch with and visiting family members in Marion, Ohio was also important for Gertrude. At that time, Gertrude's mother, Lena Hecker Zuck, was still alive in Marion, and in fact became the Mother of the Year in 1964 for Marion. Quite a feather in her cap. Frank Freilich died during this time. Tommy Zuck had a heart attack in California. Frank was Gertrude's brother-in-law, and Tommy was her brother. And daughter Carol and her husband Dave were building a home in Huron, Ohio. Son John was on Channel 8 television in Cleveland, Ohio. Gertrude had a great love of birds and reported starlings, cardinals, chickadees, robins, and tufted titmouses. In fact, she and Doran saw a robin on January 18th, which was a record for an early returning robin from the south. Doran phoned the newspaper to report this great event. Gertrude and Doran enjoyed coming to Cleveland and watching the flower show as well as the home tour. When all the maple seeds would fall off their maple trees, they had their hands full raking them all up before their yard turned into a maple forest. Grandson Mark Doran Ray became spelling champion for Kensington Elementary School in Rocky River, Ohio. Son John turned 39 in 1963, and Gertrude commented, "To know that at 39 he has the happiness of a fine family and the realization of many things he has worked for. So thanks to all of you for dreams come true." Touching words. So, dear family members and others, best wishes always, and hope to see you at Lakeside, Ohio in August. Peter J. Ray. The first letter is from Gertrude Zuck Ray. 1407 Marlborough Street, Sandusky, Ohio. Actually, Lacey Woods, Michigan. Wednesday, August 13th. No year indicated. Dear John and Ruth, your anniversary card bought some time ago and left on the desk in Sandusky. I hope you have by this time. Anyway, I couldn't let the day go by without wishing you a happy day. At the end of Helen's and my walk in the woods this morning, we found a letter from Dad in the mailbox. You made wonderful time home. Couldn't have run into much traffic. I do hope by this time John's sunburn is only a memory. Some friends of Helen's took us to Interlaken Sunday afternoon to a musical afternoon at the camp there. Yesterday, Mrs. Osmond rode us over to North Fort, had a dinner at a delightful little inn, visited an antique shop on a dirt road high on a hill overlooking Lake Michigan, bought nothing though, and tonight Helen is entertaining some friends for dinner. John is expected to roll in tomorrow night, and then Sunday or Monday back to Sandusky. We'll be seeing you 2 weeks from Friday. Affectionately yours, Mother. And the next letter is again from Gertrude Zuck Ray. 1407 Marlborough Street, Sandusky, Ohio. Friday, August 12th. Again, no year is indicated. Dear Mark and Pamela, this is a fine morning, and one reason why is that the postman brought a card from you. When I read all the different things on that little wheel that turned around, a little old operation wasn't much to have. So when I get these adhesive strips off next Wednesday, I'll be fine again. I could take a walk with you right now if you were here. Grandpa and I were sorry that you had a sore throat. That isn't any fun. Lots of the boys and girls around here have been sick too. I told Auntie Carol to take care that Lisa doesn't get any of these old bugs. John and Ruth, the best slide in this last set was the one of Joan and Pamela sitting on the deck chair. We will have to have a showing of all of them next time you are here. Lenore and Dale left for Point Basel this morning to be gone a week. Mary is staying nights with Mother, and Edith will be back in town again the end of this week to help out at nights too. I talked to Lenore yesterday, and she says Dad still is up and around, can eat, and he was perfectly rational the last time we were home. We want to get down again soon, to Marion, Ohio. Dr. Parker did just the one leg, the bad one this time. I was conscious but didn't think it necessary to watch what he was doing, so I can't say very much about it. There are 5 different bandages and an elastic tape from the knee down. Very artistic effect. I bought some slacks in case I get tired of looking at it. I'm fine. Love, Mother. I think she had varicose vein operation. The next letter again is from Gertrude Zuck Ray. 1407 Marlborough Street, Sandusky, Ohio. Thursday, December 3rd, 1959. Dear folks, John's good letter came yesterday, and we are glad to know Mark and Pamela are back in school. I just hope Ruth's trouble is much improved. Doran said one of the men in the office is home with the flu. We surely will listen to KYW next Monday night. Would like to hear that barbershop quartet too. They have some marvelous quartets on lakeside programs. I remember a year ago last summer we attended one of those concerts, and the one from Lakewood was especially good. Did we tell you Helen is doing some beautiful enamel on steel squares? European scenes, and Ted says she should enter them in the May show. She doesn't think she is eligible, though. As far as she knows, no one does quite the same type of work, and they are exquisite. She was a wonderful asset to our Thanksgiving Day. Showed her slides of Europe in order, which Dick and Joan hadn't seen. Played for us, too. We have the Thanksgiving slides back, and some of them are very good. Mostly unposed candid camera shots, a few heads off here and there, but wonderful reminders of the day. Michael photographs very well, and how miraculous to have him. How much to be thankful for. You see, I'm not a good student of P.D.'s West Lawrence. By the way, John Aspen has a most interesting column on the loyalty oath controversy in this morning's paper. I think I was in grade school with him in Marion. Do you know him? He is an attorney in the 1119 Fidelity Building in Cleveland. This afternoon was our Christmas program of Church Circle. I had it. Had been working on it off and on all week. Bible cooking. Had refreshments with Bible names. And it got to be, to me, quite a fascinating subject. I got the book from St. Louis, and it has some marvelous recipes. Did you hear the President's farewell speech tonight? What a tremendous trip. May he return safe and sound. Love to you all, Mother. And another letter from Gertrude Zuck Ray. 1407 Marlborough Street, Sandusky, Ohio, January 3rd, 1960. Dear folks, another fine holiday to remember as we start the new year. We did enjoy Ruth's good cooking and visiting with you all. We had been wanting to see the downtown Cleveland lighting, and that too was a treat. Tommy arrived home safely, and Helen is back in Oberlin. She returned with a box of Tommy's prize camellias. Had no way of getting them to Marion for Mother, but I know her returning girls at Dascom will enjoy them. When I talked to Mother on the phone last night, she sounded much better. I think Tom's visit did her a lot of good. She said Harold and Marge's family had gone back too. I know she and Mary's family enjoyed having them over the holidays. Lenore and Dale are up at Platte Lake, a good place to relax after their strenuous Christmas rush. Doran took the Christmas tree down yesterday. We are keeping the red felt tie and poinsettia along with our other decorations. Mark and Pamela, they are so pretty. I'm going to put your Christmas card in the grandchildren's book. How that book is growing. 6 boys and girls in there now. There was a fine house plan for a narrow lot in the plain dealer this morning. I'm sending for the plans because up until now, roomy houses for narrow lots have been practically impossible to find. There was a good article on the front page, too, on the high cost and why of building in the Cleveland area. Perhaps you read it. We get a lot of information from Dave on the workman's side of it. Our minister gave us a good sermon to start the new year this morning. We are fortunate to have him. Love, prosperity, and good health to you all this coming year. And thanks so much for such a nice January 1st, Mother. And the next letter is from Gertrude Zuck Ray. 1407 Marlborough Street, Sandusky, Ohio. Monday, January 18th, 1960. Dear folks, a snowy morning in Sandusky, but not too cold. The starlings are chattering over some dried bread out in the backyard. This time of year, the birds are really hungry and thirsty. We see an occasional cardinal out there, too, and I hear the chickadees around but don't see them. We did see and hear a robin in the tree behind the garage over a week ago. Doran called the paper, and it was in the local news. I think it's a record around here, for it didn't sound like a tired-out winter robin. It was full of pep and letting everyone know it had newly arrived. Thanks, Pamela, for your colored notes last week. Perhaps you will enjoy this doll stationery. It comes from a box of 18 different dolls I found down at the shopping center. Mark, I'm still looking for the dinosaur book, but it hasn't come in as yet. Tell Patty we saw some little girls out yesterday, airing their dolls in new doll buggies. Must have been Christmas presents, for they look so new and bright. Doran and I went over to Mrs. Dunn's to see the Big Brother program a week ago yesterday morning. We all enjoyed it, and we're so glad you let us know. All the fellows on the panel were good, and did give a lot of information on a subject somewhat unfamiliar to us. We were in Marion yesterday afternoon and found Mother better. I think Tom's visit did her a lot of good, and then Helen Lacey was there 2 days last week, and she enjoyed a first-hand account of Fred and Vonnie's family and her California trip. Mary is still enjoying, in retrospect, the holiday visit of Harold and Marge's family. They made it back to Maine in 18 hours. Lenore and Dale are fine, busy and into so many different projects. Dale is making some lovely ceramics in his spare time. It's so lovely there, winter and summer, and they are so hospitable. We had a fine supper, some of Lenore's homemade bread, before we started home. This week is our annual meeting, a dinner meeting at church, new jobs for members, and reports. I think Doran has gotten himself some work on the Finance Committee, and I'm on the Christian Education Committee. There's a meeting next Sunday from all over the district at Mansfield First Church, and we plan to go. We went last year and wouldn't have missed it. Fine talks by both ministers and laymen. Oh yes, I meant to tell you the poinsettia you sent Mother is still very lovely. She had a window full of beautiful plants this year. We've been wondering how you all are, and has your big JC auxiliary meeting met yet, Ruth? Love to you all, Mother. And the next letter again is from Gertrude Zuck Ray. 1407 Marlborough Street, Sandusky, Ohio, Wednesday, March 2nd, 1960. Dear folks, as John Zuck used to say, this past week has been a momentous one at your house. We are glad for you that the house question is settled, and hope you have many, many happy good years there. We plan to see the flower show first and arrive at your new house at 3:30 p.m. And if you can be there at that time, and if it is convenient for the present tenants. Mark, the little planter you brought at Christmas is growing fine. The snake plant has a new shoot, and the philodendron has a number of new leaves. As you see, you must have a green thumb. Till Sunday, affectionately, Mother. And the next letter again is from Gertrude Zuck Ray. 1407 Marlborough Street, Sandusky, Ohio, June 2nd, 1960. Dear folks, it was good to know Peter, John, and Ruth had such a fine homecoming. That's actually me. and that the baby is fitting right in with the rest of the family. We hope by the time Mark and Pam's school is out that you will have sold the house and will be ready for Beechcliff. When we got home, the yard was a shambles. The annual deluge of maple seeds made it impossible to go any place until a cleanup. We are still cleaning them up, but the worst is over. Sproutings still have to be cleared. Helen was over with us over Decoration Day. We had a fine picnic at Huron Park between showers. Lots of good food. Then the preceding Saturday was the Junior Women's League smorgasbord, and so the scales are telling a sad story. Helen took the World Federalist book home. She was so interested, and I had your former one. Steve is coming home in a few weeks, and Connie and little Gregory Allen should be getting to the U.S. tonight, flying home. Perhaps we will see them sometime this summer. Mother has been at Platte Lake with Lenore and Dale. It's good she can have a change of scene in such a lovely spot. She still works in the yard at home, but has a boy do all the heavy work, mowing, trimming, and raking. Fred's Helen is to have a gallbladder operation in a few weeks. She had a number of flare-ups while they were in Europe, and some trouble since they have been home. Nancy Darling was married last Saturday, had a beautiful reception at the Business Women's Club, which we enjoyed. Then last week, one of the neighbors had a shower for her and didn't get home from that until around 12 o'clock p.m. Nancy married a Catholic boy, but didn't join her church. They were married in the rectory. The roses are lovely now, and wondering what kinds you have at the new place. Doran said the ground in that rose bed was just wonderful. There was a tufted titmouse in the maple tree the other day, the first one I have ever seen around here. Love to you all, Mother. And the next letter again is from Gertrude Zuck Ray, 1407 Marlborough Street, Sandusky, Ohio, August 23rd, 1961. Dear folks, glad to know Mark is improving tonight. Hope he can get home soon. There surely has been a lot of illness this summer. We did enjoy being in Marion Saturday. Mother had a fine supper, even though I had told her just a sandwich and coffee. Mary and Frank, Bill and Barbara were there too, and Mary had prepared some of the meal. Carol and I enjoyed Helen and Cynthia's luncheon for Tom's wife. You especially would enjoy meeting her, Ruth. She is so interested in art, has loved it since childhood, and has taught high school students. She has one more year in art school there in Philadelphia. I do hope this finds you all over your bug. Thanks for the good note. Love, Mother. And the next letter is again from Gertrude Zuck Ray, 1407 Marlborough Street, Sandusky, Ohio, December 15th, 1959. This letter is out of order. Sorry. Dear folks, Pamela will get a package soon with the robe. It's the same kind she has had after all, but perhaps she can get some good out of it, and it wasn't doing anyone much good up in the drawer. I went over it on the sewing machine, so hope the stitching will hold a little better. Your package with the Christmas wrappings and Mark's pretty colored bells came this morning. So nice to get a hand-colored decoration, Mark, and thank you very much. I couldn't find any bill for the wrapping, so let me know. Doran is better tonight, has been home today on barely gruel and skim milk. What a lovely diet. He hopes to go back to work tomorrow. Pamela is no doubt over the sore throat of the tonsils out. How long did she have to stay in the hospital? Such wonderful weather the last few days. We're really enjoying it for the wind-up of Christmas shopping. Love, Mother. And the next letter is from Gertrude Zuck Ray, 1407 Marlborough Street, Sandusky, Ohio, Wednesday, January 16th, 1962. Dear Pam, another good note in the mail this morning, and Grandpa and I are always glad to hear. You do such nice work, Pam. I think you must have good teachers, and that you pay attention. I've been wondering if you have done any sewing on your little Christmas sewing machine. The next time you are here when I'm sewing, you can run the big machine. It's really lots of fun. Grandpa hasn't played much golf this winter, only one day the first part of December. Some years he gets out every month. Have you been ice skating? Flooded rinks are the best. We have some here. With love, Grandma. And the next letter is from Gertrude Zuck Ray. 1407 Marlborough Street, Sandusky, Ohio, September 17th, 1962. Dear folks, so good to have you drop in yesterday, and such a nice surprise to see your mother. Just wish we might have had a longer visit. The green tablecloth is lovely. I've been looking so long over here and couldn't find one. I know we will enjoy it. This coming Sunday, Ted and Evelyn are having us for a birthday dinner. 3 to celebrate, Ted's, mother's, and mine. Evelyn always entertains so beautifully. Just hope the Marion folks can make it. I know it will do Mother good. We are picking Helen up on the way over. Our best to your mother, and again thanks for the lovely gift. Affectionately, Mother. And the next letter is from Gertrude Zuck Ray. 1407 Marlborough Street, Sandusky, Ohio, Thursday, November 1st, 1962. Dear folks, the clippings from the Cleveland Press came this morning. A fine article, and we are very glad to have it. Just a week ago, last Sunday, we heard Donald Twitchell give a United World Federalist talk at a Unitarian Church service here. Spoke to him for a few moments afterwards, and he said he had been at your house the preceding night. Sandusky has had a big day today, Miss America's homecoming. Perhaps Pam and Patty will like this little stand-up place favor, and you may enjoy reading the program. They were giving us this noon at the high school dinner of Sandusky Service Club members and their wives honoring Jackie. Then this afternoon was the gala parade, 32 floats, bands, clowns, Miss Texas on a float of her own. She was Jackie's roommate at Atlantic City and second runner-up. She is a lovely brunette too, and did her talent act for us on the program that followed the luncheon. She and her family are visiting in Sandusky during this homecoming. Jackie herself was lovely today, seemed fully aware of the responsibility of her title. Fred Waring was a surprise guest and gave a short talk too. Jackie's mother has attended his workshops for a number of years, and Jackie herself was with the Pennsylvanians last year. There were floats from practically all the surrounding towns, some of them with lovely gifts for Jackie, a grand piano on one. It's been a great time here, and Jay Wagner has done a marvelous job as homecoming chairman. The JCs here and in neighboring towns really went all out in cooperating. Jackie is to be in our church Sunday, sing in the choir. We know the attendance will skyrocket. Next Monday night, we are going to Oberlin to hear the Leningrad Philharmonic Orchestra. We haven't seen Helen for some time and want to do some catching up. Steve has a teaching job in music and orchestra, conducting in West Hartford, Connie's hometown. Don't know many of the details yet. Carol and Dave are living in Old Homestead now. They moved over there several weeks ago when they had to get out of the Ohio Street house for the new owners. It will give them a lot more time to work out the details of building their new home, which they plan to start early in the spring. Joan and Dick were here Sunday. They wanted to go over to the cottage to see Joan's father, who is back. He's been over there for about a week off and on, has had recurrent ulcer trouble, and wanted to see his Cleveland doctor. He's quite discouraged, and of course this is a concern of Joan. When he goes to the doctor, he stays at a Cleveland motel overnight. It seems it's difficult to know just how to help him. Things seem to be going fairly well in Marion. Have phoned Mother a number of times, and Mary has been able to walk over to Mother's, so perhaps she will have a few more years. We went to Mike Kresser's wedding last Saturday morning in St. Mary's Church. Remind us to tell you about it at Thanksgiving. Most unusual. The cold weather took us by surprise, and the geraniums we had planned to bring in for the winter froze before we got around to doing it. We are looking forward to having all of you for Thanksgiving. Let's see, 16 of us now. Hope Patty and Mark have fine birthdays, and thanks again for the clipping. Love to you all, Mother. And the next letter is from Gertrude Zuck Ray. 1407 Marlborough Street, Sandusky, Ohio, Thursday, December 27th, 1962. Dear folks, John's note came this morning and glad to know you made the trip home safely. We had to get out the snow shovel again yesterday morning. Not much snow, but enough to make it icy. I think this little bow belongs to Patty. I've had time to really look at cards and gifts, and you may know your card will go into the grandchildren book. I'm especially pleased with the toaster. Have been wanting a good one for a long time. Doran's little radio will give him a lot of pleasure, and he's already using the little initial key ring. As you see, Mark, I'm putting your stationery to good use. The pretty coat hangers and clove ribbon ball are in the closet with my best clothes. You put a lot of thought and time on them, Pam, and are a fine granddaughter. Patty, you must know how much I like pink roses, and now I have them on a pretty handbag. How did you guess I could like it so much? We have heard nothing from Tracy, so hope she is all right. Such a shame. Doran had to work again last night. Home around 9:30, cold and tired. Had a cup of cocoa and to bed. A wonderful new year to all of you. Love, Mother. And the next letter is from Gertrude Zuck Ray. 1407 Marlborough Street, Sandusky, Ohio. Friday, February 15th, 1963. Dear folks, when looking out the window this morning, it seems it must be warm, but not so according to the Breakfast Nook thermometer. This year we are really going to appreciate spring. The beautiful pink Valentine heart came yesterday, and the candy is delicious. I think Valentine's Day comes just right, about halfway between the Christmas holidays and Easter. We've been wondering how all of you are getting along these cold days. Know you are busy with all the activities of a growing family. We had this letter from Harold. Perhaps you would like to read it. I had written to him after being in Marion, for he seemed so broken up at Frank's funeral. We haven't been home since then, but want to get down as soon as the weather is right. Doran has found any long driving quite a chore this winter, although he is usually so relaxed about driving. He hasn't been out on the golf course at all. Most winters he manages to get out a few times, has to content himself by watching championship golf on TV. I'm wondering if you take McCall's magazine. The February issue has some beautiful pictures of Miss America. We had our Valentine party and book review Monday night. I made 96 individual white cakes, decorated with icing. One of our most talented women did the decorating of the tables and fixed the flowers. I used your pale green tablecloth, Ruth, and it was just right as a background. We used pale green covers on the small tables too, so it was all very pretty with the lacy Valentine mats and white tapers and red flowers. Not long ago it seemed we should have a history of our church in pamphlet form for the children who are growing up and the new adult members. Sandusky's First Congregational Church has an illustrious history, too good to be neglected so. Our church historian and I are seeing what can be done. He and his wife are Oberlin graduates. She has been our organist for 40 years. I know he will do a fine job, though it will take some time to condense all the material into a small pamphlet. I found a book that is serving as a guide. March 27th, we are having a supper program on missions on the rim of East Asia. The children are to make table decorations, furnish music, start the program with faraway places. Some of the men who have seen military service in Korea and Okinawa will take part. Ada Broke is going to show her Hong Kong pictures. There is a house not far from here that is almost a duplicate of Carol and Dave's. They discovered it a few weeks ago. Good to show their builder just what they want. Thanks again. Love, Mother. And a P.S. Dear Pam, thank you so much for the pretty Valentine. That took a lot of cutting out and pasting. Grandpa thought it was fine. How is school, and have you been skating much? Love, Grandpa and Grandma. Well, that concludes today's presentation. Zuck Family Letters, 1959 to 1963. Good luck to you with your own efforts in family history, if this interests you, in finding, preserving, and sharing old letters, diaries, and photographs, and interviewing elderly relatives while they're alive. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. God bless you. Take care, and I'll see you next time.